Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is a donation deck from Patreon subscriber and local wizard to me, Eric. And Eric is paying homage to another local wizard named Toby, and Toby always plays mono red sneak attack. We've had some serious battles over the years. Toby's mono red sneak attack versus my blue white miracles. So I'm excited to be on the other side of the matchup today. And so basically, this deck has the mono red stompy things you'd expect. The Trinisphere. It uses Blood Sun instead of Blood Moon because City of Traders is really important. This deck's pretty mana hungry. So City of Traders stays in play. Blood Sun is in many ways better than Blood Moon. It depends on the matchup, of course, but turning off fetch lands is frequently better than turning them into mountains. So, and being a cantrip matters a lot. So Blood Sun over Blood Moon, Trinisphere, and then, of course, Chalice of the Void, Challenger Torch of Defiance, and then fast mana in Seething Song and Spirit Guide to go with the Soul Lands. And the goal is to put Sneak Attack into play and crunch with a fatty as quickly as possible. My favorite part of this deck is the sideboard is a complete juke into regular mono red aggro stompy. Like that, these are just 15 creatures that cost 3 mana in the sideboard. And that lines up perfectly with the 4 Emrakul, 4 Grizzlebrand, 4 Sneak Attack, and 3 Through the Breach. That's a 15 card package that goes out and a 15 card package that comes in. So when your opponent switches to their, brings in their Force of Negations and their Containment Priests and all of the maybe disenchant effects, like whatever, they use Pithing Needle naming Sneak Attack, Sorcerer's Spyglass on Sneak Attack. Bam, you're doing something different. So I really like this. You can actually build the deck either way. You could have either one of these 15 card packages in the sideboard for the juke. I just think that Sneak Attack is more powerful in the game 1 situations, and the Stompy package is less susceptible to sideboard hate. So this is the order I've chosen to present them in. So pretty simple deck, not a lot to say here. Let's go see if it works. Alright, I'm on the playing game 1, and I have turn 1 Chalice, but then I just have Grizzlebrand. Pretty sure this is a mulligan. Now I have not turn 1 Chalice. Now I have also nothing. So we are experiencing the awkwardness of having this like A plus B combo deck in a Stompy Shell. Like, if this Grizzlebrand was just Goblin Rabblemaster, I would have kept the first 7 and been pretty happy about it. So we're paying the Piper for being a goofball deck, but that's okay. So I have to bottom 2 cards here. I think my plan is Chandra. So I'm going to ship Grizzlebrand and Chrome Mox. Yeah, I would like to pitch the Seething Song to the Chrome Mox, but I have to choose one or the other. And Seething Song into Chandra is my best chance to actually do something this game. Let's just hope they're not a Wasteland deck. Alright. Force Wasteland would have been GG. They didn't have the Force. Let's try to dodge the Wasteland now. Okay, they're poison. Or something. Is this Affinity? Am I in a modern queue? What's happening to me right now? Wow, this is just like modern Affinity. Circa 2010. Well, that's good news, because Chandra's going to do a good job against that. Alright, so I can zap Vault Scourge and hope that they can't animate Inkmoth Nexus. And this is pretty awkward because a lot of reasons. If I plus Chandra, then I never get to minus her. But I guess plussing to keep cards coming is important enough. Alright, can't cast that one. Yeah, I think having the card draw engine here is more important than picking off Vault Scourge. If this was not a creature land, I would have picked off the Scourge. But as it stands, I can't afford to lose Chandra when my hand is just Grizzlebrand. This Blood Sun would be great to have in play, though. Someday. Chandra also pluses to make mana, so keeping track of that is pretty important because the +2 mana from Chandra, yikes. Alright, so now I'm definitely glad I didn't minus, but 1, 2, 3, 4, they have exactly enough to kill Chandra even though I did plus. Yuck. Alright, we're probably losing game 1 here. Tried so hard, got so far. Alright, that'll at least turn off the Inkmoth Nexi, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm just gonna get beat to death with this Ornithopter. So I take 5, I take 5, I go to 12. If I draw like Seething Song... Oh, that doesn't even matter. No, I was about to say if I draw a Seething Song into Sneak Attack exactly, I could still win this game. But it doesn't matter because they produce 2 artifacts. Which puts me on a 2-turn clock instead of a 3-turn clock. Alright. They did very well beating this Chalice on 1. If the Chalice was on 0, that would have been a lot better, but of course there's no way for me to know that. Alright, I'm boarding out the monsters. The monsters actually felt terrible. I know I've only played literally 1 game with the deck, but I would just rather have had any of these cards in my sideboard in the opener than Grizzlebrand, and I would have been able to keep 7. Alright, 15 card sideboard. Let's go. And now I know 0 is probably the right number to put a turn 1 Chalice on. It's a little awkward that I can't also cut Seething Song, but I guess it's fine. That can let me double spell on turn 2 in an explosive kind of way. Not having the usual Fiery Confluence in this deck, which I'm sure would just beat Affinity straight out. Alright, so this is a turn 1 Rabblemaster, turn 2 Angie's Ravager, or vice versa. Alright, which one is better? Draw 3 cards, so I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to pitch the Spirit Guide to Chrome Mox. And then, yeah, I think leading on Angie's Ravager is better, because my hand's going to actually be complete, or no, there will be a mountain left in my hand after I cast Rabblemaster. That Spirit Guide just went into Super Saiyan mode. It's red mana forever instead of red mana once. Yeah, so this thing produces haste threats. This thing needs to attack to do anything. This is literally Modern Affinity. And we are losing to it. What a thrill. Legacy's great. Ooh. I could turn off Inkmoth Nexus with this, but I don't think that's actually important. Yeah, Rabblemaster. Yeah, I think just pushing for damage is going to be how I win this match. Creatures must attack. Yeah, Bone Crusher Giant is great. Having to discard Chandra is kind of lame, but whatever. Let's keep the cards flowing. The spice must flow. And this is a spicy deck. Yeah, having removal spells, wow. What a world. I think if I draw a soul land or some sort of fast mana, I will play Chandra instead of stomping, but having stomp available is pretty great. Ooh, white mana. Okay, it's just colorless mana. Wow, Frogmite, actual affinity. Even the modern deck doesn't play that. Nice. So, I think I want to zap Frogmite. Because that's the one that can trade with Rabblemaster. And I want to keep pushing my advantage that I have here. Yeah, so if they want to kill Chandra, they have to attack with Inkmoth or Steel Overseer. Oh no, they can just tap it and this becomes a 1-2. But then they don't have it to block with. So yeah, I'm doing alright here. Unless they can play like 4 Ornithopters and make them all 1/3s this turn, I'm feeling pretty good. One, two, three, four, 5. If I draw a land, I can double spell and attack from Hellbent. That's pretty exciting with Angie's Ravager around. I'm going to be on the draw for game 3, so my Trinispheres and Chalices all get a lot worse. But there's not really a sideboard plan. It's not like I'm going to bring in 2 Emrakuls just in case I hit 15 mana and take out my Trinispheres. That's the Stompy life. But as we can see, like even this Thoughtcast would have cost 3, Overseer would have cost 3, even if they didn't, the 3-ball came down on turn 2. Still would have hurt them a lot. Okay, so animate, Mox Opal. Yeah, they're pretty far away from equipping Inkmoth Nexus with Cranial Plating and attacking, so I'm not worried about that. Ooh, they didn't answer Chandra. Curious. Okay, so I can play Chalice on 0. I can also just plus Chandra for mana and cast my whole hand. So, play this for 0. Plus for mana. Oh right, Blood Sun's a cantrip. So, not necessarily guaranteed to be Hellbent here. This turns off the Inkmoth, which takes off one of their more realistic routes to victory. Oh, sweet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm still 1 short of casting my whole hand. I have 5 mana. The Spirit Guide needs to exile itself to cast itself, which is obviously not a thing that can happen. Is there any reason to leave? I guess there's no reason not to. Yeah, I have Blood Sun, so I get to keep my city anyway. So I'll play Warboss, and now I have 2 mana available. Second main in case I draw something. Alright, let's gobble up here. They were probably, unless they have some sort of like Galvanic Blast. Alright, yeah, they're dead. I was going to say they probably should have activated Inkmoth Nexus in response, but I guess if they need the blockers in response to Blood Sun, but putting a counter on a land that can't activate also doesn't matter. No, they're fine. Alright. I take it all back. They knew what they were doing. Alright, same deck. In we go. I don't think they're going to have like Pyroclasms or Terminus in their deck that I would want to be the other deck against. Yeah, that actually felt good. Turns out Red Stompy is a reasonable deck, and Mono Red Sneak Attack is a meme. Hopefully we get to sneak some people in game ones. Next round, let's just commit to keeping a 7 that has City of Traders, Spirit Guide, Seething Song, Grizzlebrand, and Sneak Attack in it. Let's just stack the deck. Make it happen. Alright. This is like pretty close to that hand I just described. Obviously the Sneak Attack's not in the deck. The second Chrome Mox is probably a brick more often than not, but Bone Crusher Giant and Chandra, these are my 2 removal spells the deck has, and we're playing against a deck that wants things in play. So, hell yeah. I'm so jealous of this modern deck they're playing. Oh, am I getting Thoughtseized? Come on. Luckily I have 2 things to do, but it's exactly 2 things. Yeah, I mean, as far as hands that got Thoughtseized go, this one isn't too bad. It does deny me a red card, but I could still, like, any red card off the top, or I still get turn 1 Chandra, because no I don't. I need a red card off the top to turn 1 Chandra. Fine. I play a lot of red cards though, so there's a chance. It seems likely to me at this point that Seething Song will end up under Chrome Mox rather than going on the stack. But we'll see. Maybe the Thoughtseize will take one of the Chrome Moxes. That would be great. Bummer. They saw the line not to take the redundant Chrome Mox. Ooh. Okay, so I get turn 1 Chandra here, and I am all in on it. This Mox Opal cannot tap, so I don't even have to worry about Spell Pierce, and I think just like having shit in play is where I want to be. So, alright, fuck a Blood Sun. I'm just going in. Seething Song. Blood Sun. Chandra, let's go. Should have taken a Chrome Mox. So I could zap, yeah. I'm going to take out Ornithopter because that takes Mox Opal even farther away from being active. And that opens her up to Galvanic Blast, but let's just hope they don't have it. Let's draw some cards. Blood Sun, hell yeah. I don't know if it's right to play this over the Rabble Master, but it's what I've done. And because I played perfectly, I just get to do both. Just got super lucky hitting City of Traders. For what it's worth, I do think that even if I had to take the turn off Rabbling, that getting the actual cards off of Chandra, like playing the actual card and then the cantrip off Blood Sun, that's like going 2 cards deep in a deck without a lot of card advantage. There's 3 ball. This should lock up the game. Yep. GG's, undefeated. This deck is too good. Well, if you're gonna mulligan turn 1 Trinisphere or turn 1 Chandra, I don't know what you're doing, so I'm gonna keep the hand. Unfortunately, I'm on the draw, which makes his hand much worse. Oh, interesting. Aw, that's adorable. Okay, looks like we're playing against Bomberman. That's the deck that plays Chalice and Urza's Bauble. Probably should have bobbled me before you played Chalice of the Void, though. Because that's like 2 mana and 2 life you didn't need to spend on something like that. Trinisphere is going to fuck them up, though. So yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna pitch the Seething Song and play the 3-ball. And then I can just Chandra on turn 2. So Monastery Mentor and Auriok Salvagers are like, oh, they're Blue Echo. Okay, I guess that makes more sense in present day Legacy than Bomberman does. All right, sure. The spiritual evolution of a Bomber. All right, so this deck could have Force of Will in it post board, which is something I'm a little worried about compared to Bomberman, but I think we're doing all right. Urza is the best thing they can do, but this mana doesn't cast it. Oh, they're just passing the turn. I guess they could be setting up a Hull Breacher. All right, I'm going to play my City of Traders. That gives me lots of mana if I hit Sneak Attack off of this. Hit Chrome Mox. No, just take 2. Alright, is my hull getting breached? Because losing Chandra here would actually be awful. Shit. Alright. We're in trouble. Yeah, I could just lose to the combo here. They have... Urza Echo is much better at playing out of the opening start that I had than Bomberman is. Blue cards are better than white ones. Who knew? Oh god, they even have the Echo. Uh-oh. We're fucked. Yep, powered right through my combo. The good news is they basically have to board out their Chalice, but it's still very good for me. So that's something that matters in this matchup. Like, Chalice on 0 is actually huge against them, but Chalice on basically any number except 3 doesn't matter against me. Alright, I'm convinced that they've won this game. Alright, so, as usual. Yeah, so that game, I had a monster but no sneak attack, and as a result, I basically just him to Tarok to myself by not having cards I could cast. Alright, there's the deck. Yeah, being on the play is a huge deal. We're both decks that want to use fast mana to get ahead. If I can slam a Chalice or 3-ball before they get to do anything, that's pretty nice. Yeah, Urza Echo is a sweet deck. I've played that on the channel a bunch of times, if you want to go check it out. I have multiple 5-0s with it, I think. Mulligan. Sand doesn't do anything. At least nothing fast enough. Oh, this one is a Spirit Guide or Chromox away from being what I want, but looks like we're going to 5. These sort of matchups are actually the main reason I don't love Ancient Tomb decks. It's the Ancient Tomb mirrors, where you're just slamming shit into each other. Well, this is the same hand that I mulliganed on 7, but now I'm on 5, so I'm more inclined to keep it. I think that Seething Song and City of Traders are the cards that I don't want in this hand. I'm gonna bluff Red Elemental Blast, I guess. But yeah, this is a bad start. It's looking at 21 cards without seeing a Chalice is tough. Yeah, the difference between turn 1 Chalice and not turn 1 Chalice is just absolutely crushing in this matchup. Ooh, Ravager is dangerous. Holy shit. I didn't even think about that until just now, but the ramifications of Hull Breacher are enormous. So I'm just gonna go Mono Gabo. Force pitching Emery. Okay, that's interesting. They could have played Emery last turn because they have 2 artifacts and a blue mana, but they kept it in hand so they could force. That's really interesting. Do they not have another blue card, or their only other blue card is Hull Breacher, probably? Great. I love drawing multiple copies of the card that I just identified as terrible against them. So I guess I basically just have... And Ravager has to attack every turn. Okay, so they had a Brazen Borrower also. Or they drew it that turn. They just bridging the gap into Urza. Alright, bridging the gap into Karn's pretty good too. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. And Karn should be able to win this game. Some way or another. Like if they just get liquid metal coating. I am in some trouble here. They could also just plus and wait a turn, see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if I'm on board with pressure, then Lattice isn't necessarily GG. Yeah, Rabble Master, if they minus Karn, it goes to 2, and then I attack it, or it goes to 3, I attack it to 2, and then they play Lattice next turn, and Karn dies, so Lattice is not a line that they have. Ensnaring Bridge, if they can get Hellbent. Alright, just plussing Karn. They're just turtling up for the future. Chandra is not super helpful right now because when Chandra was printed, the rules were different, that any non-combat damage could be redirected to a planeswalker controlled by the player you were damaging. So Chandra's Plus used to be able to control planeswalkers or pressure planeswalkers, but it just doesn't work that way anymore. Now cards specifically say, like, deal damage to a player or planeswalker or a creature or planeswalker, and Chandra does not do that. She damages each opponent. So they found an LED. They can wish for Ensnaring Bridge and get Hellbent here. Yikes. Okay, or they can get the Lattice and outpace my goblins. Yeah, that Echoing Truth is going to work out perfectly because they get Lattice, I attack Karn to 1, and then in all future turns, like Karn goes up to... Oh wait, why do I think I have 2 goblins? I have 1. Yeah, okay, I'm dead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because they can make this into a 6/6 and just block the goblin until they figure out what else they need to do. So, alright, outmuscled by what I think is an objectively better Ancient Tomb deck. Alright, I'm on the draw with a hand that is my most realistic path to a sneak attack that we've seen yet. So I'm going to keep it. Uh-oh. So Toby, the person who plays this deck all the time, has a thing that he says, which is, oh no, my worst matchup, blue cards. And I feel that energy right now. So... trying to think of... This is the first time that all of this fast mana has lined up correctly, so... if I play Mountain, I can go Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, Sneak Attack next turn. If I play Ancient Tomb this turn, I can go City of Traders. Okay, One of them puts Sneak Attack into play while playing around Daze, but plays into Wasteland. The other doesn't play around Daze, but does play around Wasteland. Neither one results in activating Sneak Attack next turn. I think I'm just gonna Mountain Go. There's also a chance that they're Show and Tell, and they just cast Show and Tell and die to my Emrakul. That would be cool. The old basic Mountain die to your own Show and Tell combo. The classic Legacy interaction. Alright, so they gotta be like Blue-Red Delver or Show and Tell. I would love to draw a Trinisphere here, or Chalice. Just something to test their counterspells. Ooh, interesting. Alright, well, I could... Nope, because Grizzlebrand is not a red card. I was going to say I could just jam Chandra, but if I play my Mountain and exile Grizzlebrand, I only have 3 mana. And if I exile Grizzlebrand, I don't have double red. So I think I might just have to put Sneak Attack on the stack. But that, if they are Show and Tell, that blows up my entire secret plan. Alright, maybe I'll play Ancient Tomb to play around Daze. Though I can hear the chat screaming, "You're a combo deck, just jam." But I'm going to ignore the chat. Because I think that there is a chance that they're Show and Tell over there. And if I put Sneak Attack on the stack... Okay, nope, they are Delver. Alright, that's fine. I will not apologize for playing around Daze. Okay, so Chandra is a good card. Let's draw... Alright, we drew a second Chandra. Alright, so I'm going to exile the bonus Chandra to Chrome Mox. Play the first one. This tests them for a Daze or a Force, and then I can Sneak Attack and activate next turn. And they have no idea I'm a combo deck right now. Alright, well, fuck your couch then. So Chandra just resolved, and that bodes well. So if they have Lightning Bolt and Wasteland, they can mess up my plan. Young Peasy, sure. Pyroman or Preordain. Alright, so they topped those cards. Interesting. Right, I'll make red. This lets me play around Daze without necessarily losing my city. And if this resolves, they just lose. Alright, we did it. Bang. I don't know about you, but I'm dealing 22. Alright, sweet. I'm glad that that actually worked in game 1, because now they're going to play against me like I'm a Sneak Attack deck, and I'm not going to be that. Yeah, when your Delver Tempo deck does not draw a single piece of counter magic, you just look like a Pioneer deck. Alright, 15 cards in, 15 cards out. Bone Crusher Giant, not super exciting on its own. It is a removal spell, which I don't play very many of, and Seething Song's an easy pitch to Chrome Mox. I'm actually going to keep this. I would prefer a Chalice, I'd prefer a Trinisphere, but How low can you mulligan against Delver with a deck that can't manipulate its draws at all? Alright, so I can play around Daze by using Ancient Tomb. I think that's worth doing. Because the Daze doesn't just protect Delver, it also takes my Bone Crusher Giant off its adventure. Like if Stomp gets countered, you don't get the adventure on Bone Crusher. Yeah, Wasteland's fine. I can play through that over time. Like I said in game 1, I will not apologize for playing around Daze when every card matters this much. Ooh. So I could even Seething Song next turn to play around Daze or Spell Pierce. That does double expose me against a Force. So they don't have Spell Pierce. They could have... I think I'm just gonna go for the 3-ball here, because that's the most devastating thing. Or I could go for a Bone Crusher, and then Seething Song for 3-ball Rabble Master next turn. Because, like, if they're gonna Daze one of these things, I think Bone Crusher is the one I would prefer to get countered. And if it resolves, I'm actually racing Delver effectively. And the Lightning Bolt is a 2-for-1. Like, I already got rid of a Delver off Stomp. Now I'm going to get rid of Bolt. And they take 2 for it. The 2 probably doesn't matter that much, but... Alright, cool. 1 less Bolt to deal with my Rabble Master. No flip. You love it to see it. Brainstorm you don't love to see quite so much. Alright, how'd they do over there? Bang. Bang. I'm going to lead on Trinisphere because Rabble Master is actually the more important one, though they're both very good. I got the Force out of that. Rabble. They have Brazen Borrower in hand. Oh, nope. It's weird that they brainstormed and presumably could have set up their Delver and then just didn't. Unless they're all the cards they had and all the cards that they could see were not spells. A strange world that would be. Alright, well, I'll get my cantrip off Blood Sun. That turns off fetch lands and stuff too. I am playing around Daze. Okay, so... yeah, I'll offer this trade. I have 2 power sticking around, trading off with Delver. Like a deck, like especially like Blue-Red Delver that counts on momentum so much, just having nothing in play, I'll take that. And Young Pyromancer messes me up, but even if they find it, I'd still prefer that they have it without Delver. Like now it's on blocking duty instead of dealing 3 all the time. I needed them to not have Force there. Like, I know the days doesn't matter, but now they're Hellbent, so let's just keep the pressure up. Yeah, if they start stringing together cantrips, I'm going to lose pretty quick. If they... yep, great. So Bone Crusher Giant's a good draw. Chandra's a good draw. Yeah, Chandra's the best draw, of course. Ooh. Send it back. That was a punt. Let's get rid of that young pyromancer. That doesn't happen often. Chalice on 1? Hell yeah. Okay, so now fetch lands, cantrips, and yeah, fetch lands and cantrips, lightning bolts, delvers are all dead draws. Alright, who's winning the race? They're on a 10-turn clock, I'm on a 7-turn clock. But if I draw a Rabble Master, yeah, I'll just soak up the damage. Most of my spells, brick, their spells, or brick 1 elemental. So now, because I blocked that turn, I lose 1 damage now, but I took away their ability to double block War Boss in the future. Packed it up. All right, 2 and 1, not bad. These are going quick. I understand why people like Stompy decks. And I'm on the play with a turn 2 Trinisphere. This hand needs some help after that, but I think that's powerful enough to try to run it. I also have the Seething Song and Emrakul, so if I find Sneak Attack, I can just Hadoken immediately. Guess we'll see how good Trinisphere is in this matchup. I wonder what all my opponents think when I go basic Mountain Go. Like, I imagine they have to assume I'm like a Stompy deck with a slow hand. I'm not going to use Seething Song to play around days here. Because Seething Song will be better off doing something else later. We'll figure out what it is. Let's just hope this is like Storm or Doomsday. I'll stop with the pause. They're deciding what card to pitch. Oh, they did have days. Okay. Well, I forced an awkward brainstorm and set them back a land with their days. So, not a bad exchange. And I have Chandra coming in hot. Oh, are they Reanimator? Why would they not replay their land? They are Reanimator. Okay. So, in that case, I guess I'll cast Chandra. I don't have to play around days because I know they don't have it. And Jin-Gitaxias is a 5/4? What the fuck? That's so funny. Oh, they also had Force. Alright, turned out their hand was actually just pretty good against mine. Well, Blue-Black Reanimator featuring Jin-Gitaxias. We played against Modern Affinity in this league, and now we're playing against Grandfather Reanimator. So I have 1 turn to use all the cards in my hand, or they're gone. Because my maximum hand size is reduced by 7. Which means I have to discard my hand in the end step. So I have to draw Sneak Attack right now, and it has to resolve. That's not it. Is there any reason to keep playing? I'm trying to think of like what my best top deck is, and because the main deck relies on A plus B, and I only get 1 card at a time, yeah, there's no game left to play here. Alright, well, I don't have a sideboard specifically for Reanimator. Like, there's no leyline or anything in the deck. So, I am gonna have to mulligan to a Chalice or 3-ball. Yeah, that was a really interesting line they took. I'm actually impressed by it. Like, they had the Force, but they chose to daze in order to keep 8 cards in hand, so they could go to discard and then reanimate on the following turn with Force of Will backup. Like, that was pretty clever. Because, like, to me, on my side, it looked like if they had Force, they wouldn't have Dazed because they don't want to get set back a land. But they had a strategic reason to Daze instead of forcing. Pretty sweet. Alright, I have a turn 1 Chalice, which is what I said I needed. This hand needs some more mana after that, but I mean, here we are. This is Battlecruiser Magic, and their Battlecruisers line up better against me than mine do against theirs. Drawing a Chrome Mox Soul or Soul Land is where I want to be. They did keep their hand. Alright, that's in. No Entombs, no Reanimates. Right, they're doing the old discard play again. Alright, so I can Chalice on 0, which would slow down Lotus Petals if their plan is to animate dead this turn, but that also takes me off Chrome Mox as a live draw. Or I could double up the Chalice on 1. I think I have to 0. Yeah, that doesn't feel great, but there it is. Yeah, they can also just take their sweet time and just animate dead on turn 2, because it doesn't matter. Yeah, I would feel a lot better against Black-Red Reanimator, but the old Blue-Black version is rock solid in this particular case. Rabblemaster is very bad against Grizzlebrand, by the way, because your goblins have to attack, so they just get to block and gain 7 every turn, whether you like it or not. Yup. Oh, they only get to gain 6. Sucker. Oh. Outplayed myself. Damage can't be prevented this turn. That does nothing to lifelink. Yeah, I'm not winning this game. I can't get through Grizzlebrand. Alright, dumpstered by a combo deck, which makes sense. Stompy needs to prison them out early, and if your prison elements don't line up correctly. Like, I think that Chalice did slow them down, but wasn't able to apply pressure under the Chalice enough. So, another sub 10-minute match in the books. Right, I'm on the play with a turn 1 Blood Sun. I'll keep it. Turn 1 Blood Sun into turn 2 Chandra. That's powerful stuff. And then this Grizzlebrand is here for flavor text. Sun. Let's hope their hand is full of fetch lands. Alright. Grizzlebrand is no longer flavor text. Now we have an A and a B. We can curve Chandra into Through the Breach. Underground Sea is a little scary. Like, if this is some sort of ad nauseum or like Epic Storm or Doomsday, we could just lose before we get to do all our sweet stuff. Okay, cool. They spent their force on that, which was part of the plan. Now any mana source casts Through the Breach. Hold. Untapped Bajuka Bog. Alright, Baleful Strix. That one's kind of lame. Because it stops Grizzlebrand from connecting. Alright. Now we're in the danger zone. I guess we can't get wastelanded, so that's not super worrisome. And I don't think a deck with Bajuka Bog and Baleful Strix in it is going to have Wasteland. This Bajuka Bog's weird. Like, what deck just has that in it? Okay, so this is pretty awkward because I could pitch Grizzlebrand to cast Through the Breach, but Through the Breaching Emrakul isn't lethal. And it's strong, but it's not lethal. But if I'm able to Through the Breach Grizzlebrand at some point, then I get to draw Zillion. So I'm just gonna sit on this. Like, putting them to no permanence and 4 life is probably pretty good, but pitching Grizzlebrand, losing an extra card if they do have Force or Daze is pretty bad. Give me a City of Traders. Yeah, there are not many dead draws in my deck right now, but that's certainly one of them. And you can't pitch Emrakul and tap for colorless. That's not how Chrome Mox works. Add 1 mana of any of the exiled card's colors, and colorless does not count as a color. Alright, there's a polluted delta. More food for the Blood Sun. Okay, now I can pitch one of these Grizzlebrands, I think. So do I want to play, what do I want to play into? Do I want to play into anything? I could just pass. I could go for an end step Through the Breach, which would challenge them in the end step. It turns off Force of Negation. Beginning of the next end step, yeah. So if I do it in the end step, then the beginning of the end step has already come and gone. So the beginning of the next end step would be my end step on my turn. Alright, what do you got? Probably everything, because this game's gone on for a long time. Of course, pitching Uro. Alright, so Sneak Attack and Through the Breach are good here. Backup Blood Sun. I'm not going to tap Ancient Tomb because I think that's saving 2 life. Like, if I tap Ancient Tomb, it takes 2 turns off the clock. And if I Blood Sun but can't cast the spell that I draw, that would take 1 turn off the clock. Like, I take 1 versus taking 2. Or I definitely take 2 versus risk taking 1. So, yeah, I definitely like using my Painless Mana to Blood Sun there. Alright, we built the city on traders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't have enough Grizzlebrands in the deck to ever hardcast it because it costs black, 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 black. 7. Yeah, not particularly close to hardcasting Emrakul either. Yeah, this Strix is going to eat me. Yeah, pretty awkward here. Chromux is a card that you generally want to draw exactly 1 of. And I pitched 1 Chandra and they countered another. How many are in the deck? I think it's 2. Oh, it's 4. JK. Alright, so I am still drawing to 2 more. Yeah, so Chandra's really good. Sneak Attack's obviously good. Alright. There's another one of these. They can Force of Negation, but I don't want to give them the draw step. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. Wow, we're in. Wow, they just conceded to that. All right. I guess I'm going to attack and then draw 7, and then they're probably fucked. All right. I'm a little impressed that that actually worked. Blood Sun was, and Chalice, I guess, did a lot of work that game. That, like the invisible work, which is some part of Stompy decks that I still have to get used to. Like, I feel like I'm just losing, but if you really think about like why your opponent hasn't played a card or hasn't done a certain thing, then you realize their hand is probably just like 2 fetch lands that are dead to Blood Sun and 2 cantrips that are dead to Chalice. All right, into the other deck now. Against the deck full of counterspells, you definitely want to be the beatdown version. All right, so there's some sort of Bugaro deck. So Blood Sun is probably really good against them. All right, I mean, this is a keep. I hope they don't counter my Chrome Mox. That would be such a brutal heads-up play. I could, like, Seething Song Chandra to play around Days. Do I think they have Days? Right, I think I'm gonna pitch Angie's Ravager and play the other one. Right, so I'll have 5, 6, 7 mana. Yeah. So I'm gonna pitch one Angie's Ravager, play the other. And then next turn I can play Seething Song, Chandra, Bone Crusher Giant, and then reload my hand. Oh, interesting. The Angie's Ravager discarding the other Angie's Ravager, you get to madness it. So I didn't consider that, but I don't think it changes my line. Yeah, that's sweet though. But no, it doesn't change anything. Oh, if they play Strix, oh, time to do some math. So 5, 4, or 5, 1. Right. Right, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I can kill Strix and cast Bone Crusher. I could stomp and Bone Crusher if I plus Chandra for mana. That's pretty cool. Alright, so I have to Seething Song here. That's the wrong one. This one. Seething Song. Yeah, I'll take the 2 up front in case I find a double red spell that I want to... Or, yeah. So plus Chandra. Let's find a 3-drop. Chrome Mox. No. I'll just cast Bone Crusher Giant. Let's just get a 4/3 into play. Yeah, that Chrome Mox being in play versus being 2 damage to their face, I don't think matters much. Like, it doesn't matter in play, but the 2 damage could matter. Nice. That was the perfect time for them to Assassin's Trophy a Chandra because I have the other one in my hand. And the trophy gives me the mana to play the second one, even through Wasteland. That lined up really poorly for them. They're deciding if they want to waste me. Alright, so now I'm playing around Days. I guess I should play my land in case I flip a 3-drop off of this. Oh, just a land. Alright. Alright, beatdowns continue. I'm all in. Oh, there it is. The mighty Uro. Chalice is nice. I'm gonna Chandra first. In case I hit something castable, I want all my mana. So, yeah. Got another one of those into play. Chalice on one. Alright, pack it up. Alright, 3 and 2 with mono red sneak attack. We did get to sneak attack and through the breach a couple people, but I am pretty confident that this deck would just be better if you just have the sideboard in the main deck and then a real sideboard. But I'm glad we got to do the busted thing up front a couple times, and we got to outmuscle some fair decks and get outmuscled by some combo decks, which is about what I'd expect would happen with a deck like this. So that's my feedback. Just play Red Stompy, get rid of sneak attack, have a real sideboard. And Eric, thanks for the list. Toby, thanks for the inspiration. Everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.